started.
J.A.C. Alderwood or J.A. Calderwood? Okay. From the U.S. Let's try a Sicilian. See, I don't know what I've played recently. Scandinavian, French. Okay, Prom Gambit. I haven't played a Sicilian in a bit. Maybe I should take up the Sveshnikov, but I always play this D6 line.
Check.
But I have been playing unusual openings lately, so. Oh, I don't know what that is. C4. Let's just unpin the knight. I have a hole here on D4. I can move my knight to if I want to. And his bishop seems kind of stuck there. Oh, no, if I try and threaten the bishop, though, I can retreat to a perfectly good square, huh? Okay, let's attack the pawn and see how he wants to defend it. Like that. So, knight here, bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes, pawn takes. And then I can play e5 to defend the pawn. I guess that's okay. Yeah, the bishop can't go anywhere, so it gets rid of the light-squared bishop. Although maybe, actually, now that I think about it, maybe that's what his plan is, to get rid of his light-squared bishop, which is his bad bishop in this pawn structure. And leave me with a bad bishop. Could be a plan. Okay, what? I don't know. Oh, maybe he's thinking of, does he have to take? If he does some other move, he can't threaten the pawn immediately. So if he does some other move, I'll probably just take the bishop and double his b pawn. There's no retreating the bishop. He could defend it with a pawn move. He can defend it with a pawn move. Okay. Well, since my pawn is not under attack, I can think about playing. I was thinking e6, d5, but now he's got a pawn push. And my knight has to go back. I don't know if that's awful or not. If he takes, then I've got bishop d7 here shielding my king, and the knight can retake on d5. So pushes was probably a little better there, forcing my knight to some awkward square. Although maybe I had knight g4.
Check.
That would be at least kind of interesting. So now my bad bishop is not so bad. That was the point of engineering this push to d5.
Check.
And my development isn't too bad. He's got a bunch of undeveloped pieces there. He can make it hard for me to castle. Indeed. How about if I take here? And okay, so pawn to d6, d3 rather, forces the queen to move. And if he wants to maintain pressure, he can go here or here. So he's two of the dark squares. Then I can move my knight attacking the queen. Kind of a funny move, but a strange position anyway. And really, all I want to do is be able to castle. So queen to one of these dark squares and then knight to g4 hits the queen and has actually no home on this file. Okay, gets off the file immediately. So now I can castle, and he can develop his knight. So I guess everybody is happy. I have a check here, which is not yet doing a whole lot. It picks up that pawn maybe, but the bishop is hanging. So let's castle and develop the bishop somewhere. Maybe pin the knight. This looks like a good square. And then the check here would pick up the c-pawn, as well as put some more pressure on c3. Do I want queen c4 anyway? Queen, what am I saying? Queen d4. Do I want queen d4 anyway? Threatening to take here or here. Maybe rook out. His rook is kind of trapped back in the corner, so if he exchanges, I can control the e-file, or I can exchange and control the e-file. And the queen is in the way. The queen is in the way of his bishop developing, and the bishop's in the way of the rook. Rook could go only to these two squares, really. Just defending that pawn, yeah. That's probably okay. So queen d4 threatens to win the knight. He can defend with the bishop. Knight to knight to e4 hits the queen and the knight. If knight takes knight, bishop takes queen, so that's not happening. Rook takes knight. The queen moves. Yeah, I think this is like a fork of the queen and the knight. And if the queen moves, I can just grab the knight because it's now under defended, unless the queen can move with some serious threat. So that's just two pieces for the queen. That can't be good. Well, let's see how it goes here. This is not hanging. Queen here would threaten to take it. Queen here. Maybe rook out. If knight to knight to d6, I will take exchange on exchange on e1, check, rook takes, and then queen takes here, and he's not really threatening to come down to
check,
the 8th rank and mate me because I've got that guarded, so that would just lead to more exchanges. So just a queen against two pieces should be good for the side with the queen. Oh, he's got knight. Got to pay attention. He's got knight to b7. Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying. So do I have a cool move with my queen? Hmm. Yeah, I don't see it. Just gotta give it up. Give up the exchange. So it'll be a queen against rook and bishop.
Server announcement.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the pawns are even. So still slightly favorable for black. But it was better the way before. Better the way it was before. So if we back up, that was, how did that happen? Yeah, here. So it's, yeah, the pawn is defended indirectly by the threat of the fork. I didn't recognize that. So now he's thinking about how to get his rook down to the 8th rank here and checkmate me or force an exchange of queen for rook, leaving him a bishop up. But the bishop is a dark squared piece. He can harass my queen. For example, bishop to bishop a5 here hits the queen. I can't take it because of the threat of checkmate. So I'd have to go somewhere along the back rank. I just need to go to a light square. Yeah. And this should be good enough. He similarly cannot, oh, actually he could lift his rook. As long as this square is defended, and I can deliver a check, and then he can come back and cover the mate threat. But if he moves his rook to a different square, he can't really, he's not really, for example, rook d1 is not really threatening to take on d3 until he does something like that. Yeah, good idea. And now I have a serious threat with the advanced pawn, which I can defend. So I believe I have a winning path, just to queen c7, threatening the queen c2, threatening the b3 pawn, and threatening to promote d3, d2, d1. Okay, so if I leave the back rank, he's got this check. I go to h7, and fortunately it's on a light colored square, and he's got a dark squared bishop. So
Check.
he can threaten stuff, but he can't mate me here. He can threaten these pawns. I'm threatening to take his bishop, though, which is more valuable than those pawns right now. Let's see. Yeah, the bishop has a few moves. Okay. So let's just push this forward then. I was wondering for a moment if the bishop was trapped, but it had a few squares it could go to. And hopefully, I believe this to be an unstoppable threat. We'll see. Okay, just sacks the bishop to stop me from getting another queen. But this should be losing. I'm just piece down. I've got a rook. Queen against a rook. So, I mean, I'm just a pawn down.
White resigns.
Okay, I'm going to upload this and do a postmortem as usual. See you guys later. Bye.